Welcome everyone to another epic episode. I welcome you to this YouTube channel. As today we're speaking about Mbuyiseni Ndlozi, his possibilities and his future of joining any political party. Because what we know so far is that Mbuyiseni Ndlozi is quiet. He has not said anything to anyone, but seems like big political parties like the MK Party and the ANC are just making gestures to invite him to join them. So Floyd has responded, and he said something very interesting when he was asked about Mbuyiseni's future's possibility to join the MK Party, and this is what he said here.
Mkhonto wesizwe recruits every day. We recruit everyone. We talk to all members. But what we know thus far is that the people who come voluntarily to Mkhonto wesizwe still far outnumber those we recruit ourselves. That is why we say in Mkhonto wesizwe that asibabizi bayazizela. They come by themselves. So the ones that are still coming by themselves far outnumber those who are recruiting as an organization.
Asibabizi bayazizela, says the SG of Mkhonto wesizwe, Floyd. He says that a lot of people who have come to Mkhonto wesizwe, they were not called, but they came by themselves. Is he giving a hint that possibly maybe Mbuyiseni Ndlozi will just come without being invited? But we know that him and Mbuyiseni Ndlozi are closed. He says that he had a relationship with Ndlozi for over 20 years now, and they've been speaking even before he left the EFF. They've been speaking about the MK Party. Can it be that Floyd maybe is waiting for that moment where Ndlozi will just come and join the MK Party without them inviting him? Because already they have spoken with him, according to Floyd. And on the other hand, we've had the ANC also, the SG Fikile Mbalula, speaking about his hint of inviting Mbuyiseni Ndlozi to possibly join the African National Congress. And he said if he decides to stay in politics, let us just watch it here.
Mbuyiseni, are we talking to him? I don't know. It is possible. It's only him and him only who will speak for himself. But I will not be shocked that the ANC can talk to him, and probably because he's a good member of society, and in the realm of politics, he's a good politician.
We've invited the EFF to close shop and come home so that we unite everyone behind the National Democratic Revolution.
Will you be calling Mbuyiseni Ndlozi? I've got his number, can give it.
I've called him already.
No,
I've called him already. His equal age colleague has called him already, so that's enough. The president was not worried about the EFF, it's my responsibility.
So Mbuyiseni Ndlozi's silence speaks a volume. It says a lot without him saying anything. Just imagine now, this man has become so relevant. His quietness, his silence has made him to be the talk of the town. Has made him to get invites in big political parties to join them. So now I want us to take another dive. What does Mbuyiseni Ndlozi think about the MK Party, and what does Mbuyiseni Ndlozi think about the ANC? Because these two already seems to be pretty much interested to him to join their political organization. So let us start with possibly what he said about President Cyril Ramaphosa. What did Mbuyiseni say? What are his views, and what does he say about the president of the African National Congress? Let us watch here.
Floyd, you characterized the sitting president as being a candidate for an award in fiction, best fiction in literary sciences. But you see, it doesn't look like you were heard about what you were diagnosing. I think we must have to upgrade the diagnosis and borrow from the ideological toolkit of Frantz Fanon, we may be dealing with psychosis, whose symptoms are delusions, illusions, because Zakes Mda, when he writes DP, he knows that he's writing fiction. But our candidate tonight truly believes in the delusions that he gives us. 1 million houses in Alex. He believes that. It's a proper belief. And Fanon teaches us about cognitive dissonance. That when you tell such a person who suffers from these symptoms the truth, they hold on so much to their core belief, they become agitated, uncomfortable. If you tell him now that he's wearing a blue tie, he may tell you he's convinced that he's not even dressed. Just today, after being warned of delusions, he comes to this platform and says, unsafe toilets have been replaced in 92% of schools needing safe toilets. The remaining 280 schools are scheduled for completion within this financial year. But the report of the Basic Education Department titled Education Facility Management System Report, published 3 July 2024, says there are 1,770 pit toilets, schools with pit toilets. 280, 1,770. This is not a candidate of fiction. We have passed the stage of fiction, and we are dealing with mental illness. That is why those who come here to defend him.
So one of the words that I used by Mbuyiseni Ndlozi to describe the state of the mind of President Cyril Ramaphosa, he says that he is delusional and says that we have passed the age of fictions, but now we are dealing with the mental illness. So he says that the President Ramaphosa is not mentally well, and he says that he comes to parliament and lies and lies and lies. So he just gave this information of reading the statistics about the unemployment rate, about the trains that were promised by the president, and about sidelining South Africans. So what I will just say about this matter is that Mbuyiseni Ndlozi doesn't seem to have that eager and support, and pretty much like the ANC. You remember when he called the ANC members that they are old and in parliament it is smelling rap, right, and saying that the knees and the legs of the old people of the ANC in parliament. So that's how he used to troll them. You remember when he would raise the phone against Medusi Gigaba. So it was just the pain there when it comes to the members of the ANC. And personally, I just think that Mbuyiseni Ndlozi, I don't think he will agree with President Ramaphosa's presidency of how he runs the country. So personally, I don't see him going there to the ANC. But let's go now to the MK Party. So when it comes to the MK Party, just recently, after this election, we've seen Mbuyiseni Ndlozi saying something about President Jacob Zuma. This is what he said here.
You had your chance, Zuma. Zuma, you had your chance. For 20 years, Zuma was in government as a deputy president, as an MEC, as a president of this country. What is Jacob Zuma going to do that he did not do when he was a president?
So Mbuyiseni Ndlozi has came strong against the former president, and he has called him the old man, that he must go back home and take care of his children and his cattle, and that what is it that made Jacob Zuma that he can do anything now, because he had been in government for over 20 years. So what changes is he hoping to achieve, because now he is an elder. So now when it comes to the MK Party and Mbuyiseni Ndlozi, they may be having talks with him, but there is no clear indication of him joining the MK Party so far. That is why when I started, I said Mbuyiseni Ndlozi's quietness, silence has raised now these much speculations about what his next moves are going to be. Just knowing what he thinks about the president of the MK and the president of the ANC, this makes it to be even hard maybe to conclude of whether his possibility to go in either of these two political parties, unless if he says that he wants to continue with politics, it means he will have pressure now to choose in these two political parties. And if Mbuyiseni Ndlozi can go to the MK party, now he will just raise the wrath of the CIC, Julius Malema. I don't think Julius Malema can be happy about that. Just imagine Mbuyiseni Ndlozi goes and joins the MK party, and then he becomes an MP, and they meet there with the CIC in parliament, or with the EFF leaders there in parliament. I think it will be a very interesting scenario about parliament, right? But if he can join maybe the ANC, I'm not sure, because I don't think the president of Ramaphosa, I don't think he's keen to follow it, right? But there's something that we must always remember that has always been said in politics. There are no permanent enemies in politics. So his decision may shock a lot of us, because in politics there are no permanent enemies. You remember, there are people who used to fight now, and they call each other. They even went to an extent that they want others to be jailed or others to be killed. To that extent, that is politics for you. But now people say different things, that no, they were deceived, they were misled, and this is not it. You see, now a lot of things can change, so we'll be surprised of what move can Mbuyiseni Ndlozi take next. So far we don't know the future, but what I know is that no permanent enemies in politics. Just remember that always. Please, you can subscribe to this channel, and you can support us, and you can leave your comment until we meet on the next video, and I'm out.